Hello and welcome back to the West Midlands Regional Cybercrime Unit YouTube channel. So in this week's video, we're going to be talking about banking fraud. So what is banking fraud? Banking fraud is essentially where criminals use social engineering to trick victims out of their personal and financial information in order to access their accounts. And then once they're inside these accounts, they can make unauthorized transfers of money. So banking technology has advanced greatly in recent years, but so have these criminals' tactics. So banking fraud can occur typically through one of these three channels. So we've got online banking. This is where the fraud takes place when you're contacted by a criminal who persuades you to provide access to or make payments from your mobile banking applications. Telephone banking. So telephone banking fraud takes place when criminals persuade you to make a payment or provide access to your account to them during the call. So they're going to be using lots of different social engineering tactics to try and convince people that they represent a legitimate organization. And then finally, we have mobile banking fraud, which takes place when you're contacted by a criminal who persuades you to provide access to or make payments from your mobile banking application. So how can you spot it? Number one, your details might have been changed and you may not suddenly be able to access your account. Your bank account might have a load of new pays and direct debits, standing orders that you didn't authorize, you don't recognize them. And finally, there could be transactions on your bank statement that you might not recognize. So we've got a case study here. So this case study comes from Take 5. So in this case study, David, he receives an urgent text message from his quote unquote bank informing him about a problem with his account. And he was told to ring the provided number immediately to update all of his personal details. So whilst he's speaking to the bank, they provide him with his full details and some of his transaction history so that he can verify that they are legitimate. And they told him after that they detected some suspicious activity. They also told him that he would need to provide new personal details, and he was informed that to process the change in details, he would receive a one-time password that would be texted to him through his phone that he would need to share with them over the phone. After sharing this one-time password, he was told the problem had been resolved. So a couple of days later, David logs into his banking and he discovers loads of new payees have been set up, direct debits, all of which he'd never authorized. So what he'd done there is they were trying to log into his account and it might have this multi-factor authentication or something in place that texts you. But here, because the criminal was using social engineering, he's tricked David into thinking that that one-time password was for something else, but actually he's just used that to log into his account. So I've got some kind of just tips here, things you can remember to hopefully protect yourself from banking fraud. So first of all, only provide your details to organizations that you trust, and you want to be ensuring that you have given consent to these organizations to hold your information. Question uninvited approaches, things like cold calling, and contact companies directly using a known email or phone number if you're unsure. This would be, for a bank, would be one that might be on the back of your card or on their website. Just a number that you can trust. Contact your bank immediately if you spot transactions on your bank statements that you don't recognize. Just because someone knows your basic details doesn't mean that they're genuine. That's something we saw in David's case study. He trusted the caller because they had his details. You should be wary of unexpected or suspicious looking pop-ups that appear during your banking session. Check the online banking security options your bank may provide. Can you have two-factor authentication and things like that? If you have visited a website that you think is suspicious, you can report it to the National Cybersecurity Centre or the NCSC. So I will link that down below where you can report these websites. And even if you think, oh, but it might be legitimate, I'm not sure, just report it anyway. because if it is, it'll be taken down. If not, it's fine. It's just really important to report these things. Thank you so much for watching. For more information on banking fraud, please visit the Action Fraud website and then the Take 5 website. If you have been victim of banking fraud or just fraud or cybercrime in general, please contact Action Fraud and submit an Action Fraud report. This video makes use of the latest Action Fraud and Take 5 guidance at the time of recording. Thank you so much for listening.